it's Rebecca here from Precious Pages Papercraft, and today I'm designing a layout for Bramble Fox, and I'm using a perspective title from the September Fox box, the lovely genuine piece you can see here, and I'm also going to pull in a couple of little hearts I've got from one of the mini perspective sets, and also Fox Cut number 17, one of Bramble Fox's stencils. So I'm starting off with a circular photo. It's of my little boy. Now there's no real story behind this photo. We'd just popped down to our local library at the beginning of the school summer holidays, and they've got in the children's section all these kind of holes in the walls. They're all padded and they've got all lovely twinkling lights in that the children can sit in and read or just chill out in. And he made a beeline for those, so I've got a series of photos of him sat in those. So no real story behind it, so I struggled initially to decide which collection to use to scrap the photo, because obviously you get like summer collections that are like beachy and summery things and flowery collections, and I really couldn't decide. And in the end I settled on 49er Market Spectrum Sherbet collection. Now I've used it a couple of times with kind of the blue and green tones, but I don't think I've yet made a layout using the pink and orange tones, and I thought it worked perfectly with my photo and the perspective. So I've got a sort of orange in the photo in my little boy's shorts, and I've got a kind of pinky like plummy colour in the like the foam padding around the edge of the circle that he's laying in. So I thought this collection actually worked really well, and then it complemented that perspective really nicely because it's a lot darker than anything else in the collection, so it really stands out and doesn't get lost against all the pretty colours. So I've backed my photo with a couple of plain cardstocks. One was an orange basil cardstock, and the other pink one is one of the Hip Kit exclusive cardstocks. And I'd already pulled out some bits and pieces from the collection that I wanted to use. So I had some circular pieces, a couple of kind of sentiment pieces, some flowers and some leaf sprigs. I've got acetate ones and the die cut ones, but just decided I've arranged things how I like them, kind of chucked it all on the page and thought actually I really like how this is going, but I just wanted to pull in a couple more leaves there. And now I'm at the point where I actually really like how this is looking. And none of it is stuck down, and I wanted to add some mixed media behind it. So sometimes when this happens, I get my iPad and I take a photo of the layout, take it all off the page and do my mixed media, and then I use the photo to kind of rebuild it. But I wanted to do some stenciling on my background with one of the Fox Cut stencils, and I knew that I would want to keep moving bits on and off the page to see how the stenciling is looking and to make sure I've extended it out enough. So I really needed to be able to move everything off in kind of one piece or a couple of pieces just to make life easier. So with everything in situ, I'm working my way around and getting it all stuck together, not to my background, but just to each other so that I can then lift it off as one piece. So just applying glue to kind of the top of things and tucking them under so they stick to the thing above them, but making sure that I don't get any glue on the backs of things because I don't want anything stuck to the background yet. And you'll see in a minute I do get a little bit of glue ooze out underneath onto my cardstock, so I do have to turn that over when it comes to my stenciling. But yeah, so just working my way around and getting everything stuck in place so that I can move it all off and it stays where it is, because I really do like the design that I've built, and it's just typical that I've just carried on piling things on the page, bought some more things in from the die cut pack there, and then suddenly thought, oh god, nothing is stuck down, and it's something I do quite often. And you can see now how easy it is. I can just flip that over, and I'm going to add some sellotape just to the back of things, just standard sellotape. You're not going to see this, and it's just literally to hold things together a bit more than that glue so I can keep turning it and moving it. You'll notice, as well as having my perspective at the bottom of the photo there, I've also added a couple of alphabet stickers just to make my title say Be Genuine, and I've just stuck those straight on. Making sure that where I've got those two tags, I've left the holes free, haven't covered those up with anything, so that I can thread some embroidery floss through those once I'm finished. But now onto that mixed media background. Like I said, this is Fox cut number 17. I adore this. It is my favourite stencil from Bramble Fox, and you can get it in several variations and sizes as well. So I think the one I've got here is like A5 or 6x8, something like that. But it also comes in A4 size as well. So if you want it even bigger, and I think there's also an A4 one that it's the whole way around. So you've got the circle in the middle, and the starburst bits go all the way around. So different variations on this stencil, but it is definitely one of my favourites. And I'm just using a couple of ink pads and some blending brushes. So the pink ink is a Distress Oxide, and the shade is Picked Raspberry, and the orange shade is a Distress Ink, and that's Spiced Marmalade. And I've just got designated brushes for each sort of shade. So I've got pink brush and orange brush, you can see here, or peachy coloured brush that I use for orange. And that's so that my inks don't all get muddied and I don't have to keep washing my brushes after each time I use them. So I think I bought a set of 10 or so on Amazon, and different coloured handles. So it works really well with these ink pads. And I'm using the stencil and going over first with the pink ink, and I'm extending that out quite far, but I'm making sure that as the lines come out, the ink fades off. So it's more concentrated at the start of the stencil where the circle is, and then it's fading out towards the edge of my page. And then I'm coming back in on top of that with the orange ink and just applying that to the middle section where the lines are a lot thinner, so that it kind of blends in and gives an ombre effect. And as you can see, I've done that in several areas where there's kind of gaps in the embellishment, and it's going to show out from behind those. And I really love how that looks. It's just a subtle detail, and it's not hard to do at all. It's very, very simple mixed media, very easy. It's dry, so there's no water and mess involved. Don't need any gesso or anything like that. So if you are sort of a bit nervous of mixed media, grabbing some stencils and some inks is probably a really good starting point. You can't go wrong with it, really. And if you mess it up, just turn your cardstock over and try again. But yeah, there's no mess involved with it, so it's clean and simple, and I really love how effective that stenciling looks. And happy with that, I've then added some foam to the back of my photo. I've done 2 layers because that particular sheet of foam is really thin. It was meant to be 3mm, but I think it's probably more like 1. I bought a pack on Amazon, and I think like a pack of 10 or something, or 15. And most of them are thick enough, but for some reason that yellow one is really thin. So I've just doubled up on the foam there, and then got that stuck in place. And now I'm just working my way around the outer bits of my embellishments. Obviously they're all glued together, but I want those edge bits raised up just to bring in a bit of dimension. So I'm using a mixture of tabby pop dots from Spiegelmum Scraps and just some standard foam pads for the smaller bits where the tabby pop dot is too small. And then once I'm happy with how that is, I'm going to get my perspective stuck in place. So I've used glossy accents for that. And I know I say this in every video, but you know, there might be some newbies to my channel or the Bramble Fox channel, depending on where you're watching. But glossy accents is my go-to adhesive for my perspectives. I just find it's a really strong hold, and it's see-through when it dries as well. So that's always the adhesive I use. So I've got that in place. I'm just adding in a few Acetate Butterflies here, again from the Spectrum Sherbet collection by 49 and Market. And then these are the mini heart perspectives, and I love this set. And it comes in a variety of colours, so you can get a monochrome one where it's got like black and white, or you can get some little coloured sets as well. I think there's a cool coloured one, and then I've got this set here. But I've just pulled out the frosted pink ones, like a nice pale pink colour. And I'm just adding, I think I had 5 in total, just around the outside edge there, just filling in a couple of gaps. So they're not the star of the show, but they're just lovely little subtle details around the edge there. And then I'm just going to finish the layout off with some splatters. So I've mixed those 2 inks that I used, the pink and the orange, together on some packaging, spritzed a bit of water on top, and then just with a paintbrush mixed them together to get a nice kind of pinky orange colour. And where the oxide is mixed with the ink, it's given it a more almost chalky look to it as well, which I quite like. I always find Distress Oxides a bit chalkier than the inks. But I just used a very fine paintbrush and added some splatters to the outside edge, and that is me finished. So thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed this layout and the process video, and it's offered you some inspiration. Like I said, this title is from the September Fox box, and I will leave some links in the description box below for you to our Fox box subscription page. If you sign up, you get sent a set of perspectives every month, including an exclusive one that won't ever be available in the store. You also, as a subscriber, get discounts on items from the shop as well, and you obviously get free postage on adding them on to your Fox box. I'll also leave a link to the website and also to our Bramble Fox Friends Facebook group, so if you're not already a member, please do head on over and join. But thanks again for joining me. I'll leave you with the last few close-ups, and I'll see you next time.